here, which would be your advice card. So breathe in anger, of course. So this looks like a little bit of a challenging month for you. I do have the Four of Michael here, and of course that's insights that come from from quiet meditation, the need for more sleep or time off, seek relief from stress. So it does look like this month is going to be a bit emotionally challenging for you, taxing in some way. The Magician, you can manifest the life you want. What you need will magically appear. Successful beginnings. So there might be some kind of an insight of something you're trying to manifest, but you have to get out of this other energy here first, because you're magnetizing yourself to other energies that are a little more wearing on you. So Five of Michael, this situation doesn't serve you. Release your attachment to the outcome. Consider taking a more uplifting approach. And again, the clarifiers as well, we're the King of Ariel. So your plans are working out very well. Professional and financial success, using resources wisely. And the Five of Ariel, so that's where you're headed, not the energy in right now. But Five of Ariel, you wouldn't or you needn't go through your current challenges alone. Help is nearby. Negative thoughts create self-fulfilling prophecies. So you lower your own vibration is what that's basically saying with certain thoughts. But Three of Gabriel, prosperity arising from wise planning, taking the time to take time to take the next step, optimistic plans that turn out as expected. So even though you're thinking the worst here this month, Cancer, you really have some energy that's following, and this will be likely preceding months. Some of you will be making decisions in a lot faster, more rapid, being able to process through these other very deep emotions that are challenging, because the fours and the fives, oh my gosh, fours is kind of a retreat mode, and heal, and fives are about challenge and things needing to change, and certainly it's about negativity and your mindset. And it looks like there's some anger involved here. Your advice for the month of February is breathe. Take a few deep breaths and accept that sometimes things don't make much sense. Soon enough, everyone will come to their senses to see the situation for what it is. Everybody's on their own path of growth, and nobody's going to be necessarily on your timeline. So whatever realizations that people need to go through or experiences, you have to let them go through on their own journey. And if things do, reconnect at another point, then certainly there's an opportunity. But at this point, you can only do you. So anger, even though you are bursting inside, you need to remain calm. Dig deep, find the strength to activate the self-control that lies within you. So just to kind of recap here, and again with the Four of Michael, I mean, this is, well, I'll start with the Magician, because this is definitely more powerful and certainly more, it is the major arcana for the read. So the Magician is a card of having all of the tools within, and certainly have the ability and the resources. You're just not seeing them right now. You're not even looking in that direction, but it is letting you know that you do have the ability to connect with other people as a resource, and that's what you should be doing this month, to be able to pull yourself out of this February heavy, negative, angry kind of month. Again, you've got all the resources you need, and these resources seem to be in around people that you feel aren't there are actually there. So you're not seeing something, you're underestimating yourself, you're underestimating your skills, you're underestimating your knowledge, you're not seeing your potential in a situation. But the Magician is here to tell you, you have the potential, you've got all the skills, you've got all of the, when I say all of the skills, I mean you have the ability to build on those skills. If you're at a beginning of something, you have the aptitude to make something happen, is really what that's telling you. So you have the ability, you just need to prepare for the moment and the road ahead. So this is about finding supportive people in your group to be able to move things ahead. It's about finding guidance. It's about finding resources that you may have not tapped into. This is about moving yourself forward, and you have to do it in such a way that you have belief in yourself. So this is about, pending success, but you have to get out of your own way. You have to get out of your own head. You have, as I say, all these creative solutions. You've got all of the ability. The self-confidence is actually there. It's remembering who you are. And the only way that we remember who we are is by going through these challenges. Unless we're tested, we don't really know, yes, we've got the ability to, skill build up. It's like playing a computer game. You don't know you have the ability until you've completely immersed yourself in something and repeatedly taken the hits for something, and found the ways around it, where you can actually maneuver faster, or, add somebody to your team, and it allows you to, you know, get through other hurdles or challenges and blockades. But it takes focused action, it takes focused attention, and it definitely takes the initiative, the ability to believe in yourself. Number one, if you don't have that, you're going to have a hard time getting through some of the future hits that life will challenge you with, because the only person that needs to believe is you. So Five of Michael is kind of speaks to that as well. It is a card of protection here also. Um, but again, it is still a card of change. So Five of Michael is about, letting go of all these negative thoughts, and seeing that you have to reconsider your actions, reconsider how you see your situation, reconsider how you see yourself. See it in terms of, if I believing in myself, and regardless of what anybody else thinks, I am willing to journey down this yellow brick road to be able to figure out what I'm worth, to figure out the possibilities of how I can win. I'm willing to take the advice from someone, constructive or otherwise, and then I'll do my own research to get out of this negative energy and be able to match the vibration over here, because the Magician vibration tells you you've already got this ability. You already have this inner self of truth and strength, but you're not believing that you do. So again, that really takes a sense of owning your own, taking the initiative and sort of owning your own path. So realizing that you can't start out with all the answers and, keep your ego intact. It's going to take a process of releasing some of the ego to be able to say, yes, I'm willing to learn. You have to be open to learn. You have to be open to, something, so that you don't see all of the, because right now you're just sitting in a place of, this is what I lack, this is what I don't have. Well, the only way out of that space is to make yourself aware of skill sets that you can build on. And it does take, if you're going to do it the hard way, then that means you have to take a few people telling you like it is. But again, if you're wise and looking at how something is done, you're going to figure it out. But if you want to take the educated route or whatever, that's another means of finding your skill set by practicing over and over and over, doing something repeatedly until you believe in yourself, or believe that you have a match. Until you believe that you match the vibration that's ahead of you here with the Magician. And again, this is the major energy. So whatever you're trying to manifest, clear your thoughts, because what you're manifesting is going to, give you the hard route if you're still in this really negative energy. Try to be more optimistic in your plans, and that means getting out of your own way, getting out of your own head. Try to do some activities that are happy and enjoyable, and then do something that is more forward moving, that helps you to build on a skill set, or build on a connection, or whatever it is that helps you to feel valued and create some hope in your world. But again, it comes through learning, it comes through building on the self. So, reading a book on, could be reading a book on relationships, could be reading a book on, a skill set that you're trying to develop. But this is wasted energy if you're stuck here with the Five of Michael and not allowing yourself to move out of that. And again, it's a progression from 4 to 5. So you're really kind of you're doing yourself a disservice here. Four of Michael, again, this is kind of pulling back and allowing yourself to, figure out the process. So how do you move ahead? How do you find a way to take a break and actually not just lounge, but take a break where you can restore your energy? So if you're doing too much, step back and figure out a way to do it more efficiently. Do one task versus 12 tasks. Give yourself a break mentally. Let it go. What does it feel like if you're allowing yourself to live in a place of, I believe in myself and I am willing to take on, a successful strategy to be able to reach this solution. So again, this is kind of unexpected epiphanies that might come in through this kind of energy. It is being able to raise your vibration, like I said, through getting enough sleep, getting enough recovery, taking the actions that will help you to feel more confident. And it's inaction that puts you in this place of stress. So you have to make some kind of a move within yourself to be able to seek the relief from the stress. So if there's healing that needs to be done, look at your resources, look at the information, look at the stats, whatever it is for you, look at the business, the information to be able to get more of a practical grasp on how you can feel more committed to the journey. Because the King of Ariel is your plans are going to work out well if you just, stay in this energy of, inspiration and seeking a way to recoup. Because that King of Ariel energy is all about taking sort of a mature point of view and making something happen, because the kings are all about feeling a level of confidence. I don't feel like you're in that space yet, but this is where that energy is moving. It's moving in the direction of King of Ariel. So again, kings are mature. They have a real strong sense of themselves. They have a real sense of where they're going. This is definitely energy around feeling like you can be someone, you can be, in a world where you are abundant and where things work out for you. This is having a sense that you can succeed in something. This is energy that's around you, like it's inside you. With the Magician, you have to manifest it. You have to get out of your own way. So again, King of Ariel is where things are headed. This is about putting in the time, the energy, the work. And again, it's kind of a destruction of the ego. You can't go in with an ego and actually expect to gain leverage or knowledge. You have to kind of go in with a receptive, I'm interested in whatever I can learn, and use my resources wisely, and then that will move me into this leadership position, because this is who you're meant to be as a leader. The Five of Ariel, again, this is what you're in a place of manifesting changes. So again, you've got 2 fives here. So these are pretty significant changes in this month. The Five of Ariel is still an energy around feeling a little alone in this month. But there is still a lot of potential here, and there is help. You're just not seeing it. You're not using those resources to your advantage, and that's the whole point. You're trying to be too much of a king when you're still at an energy of manifestation and waiting for the quiet moments of inspiration. But you have to allow yourself to kind of move into this space of who can I get to help me in moving myself ahead emotionally, physically. What are my options? These are the things that you have to ask yourself. It's the questions, it's the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. It's not, what do I lack? It's, what do I need to do to get there? Because you're creating too much negativity in your thoughts. And so that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So again, you have to get out of your own way, refocus, tweak as necessary, because you're not feeling very lucky. You're not feeling very like there's a lot of possibility, and you have to be able to turn that around. You have the ability, and the ability is that you will be a king here, but you're not breaking your own patterns. So there might be some issues around not feeling, that you're employable, or the skill set or something is lacking there. But again, this 3 of Gabriel also tells me that there is prosperity here. This is just a little further out. You do have to do the work. You're making some deep changes here with the 2 fives. And again, get out of your own way, because you have success here with the King of Ariel, as well as the 3 of Gabriel. And you definitely have connections that can help you expedite all of this ahead in a whole lot faster, healthier way. So 3 is definitely about creativity, and there's certainly elements of connection there as well. But again, 3 of Gabriel is still about wise planning. So you got to create a strategy for yourself in the month of February, and make some good choices, because this is a card of ships coming in. This is about long-term planning, but it is, again, also about what are the next steps? What's my next good idea? What's my next adventure? Be careful of the quality of your questions. Stay in a place of action, stay in a place of belief and self-reliance or self-belief, but also, what are my resources? How do I make this happen in a stronger, more purposeful way? Always review your resources, review your options. That's how you get things ahead. Staying in a place of, I have nothing and I can't do anything, is a disservice to you. You have to keep your enthusiasm high for the adventure, for the journey. So again, it's about relying on yourself, but also don't worry, because it's not, you don't start out with all of the tools. You have the potential with all of this. With the magician, you have the ability, you have all the abilities, you have the knowledge, you have the ability, you're smart enough, you're capable enough, you're resourceful enough, but you're just not using it. You're just too busy in this place of lack and negativity. And this is really about self-confidence comes from knowing how to use your resources, knowing how to use people. I don't mean use people in a negative way, but use the teamwork aspect of things to create an outcome that's favorable for you. But again, get out of your own way. You're in a negative place here in the month of February. Breathe, take a few breaths, accept sometimes that things don't make any sense, and you still have to keep going forward. You're all on your own journey here. So, in anger, it feels like you're going to be dealing with some deeper rooted problems or things, again, because you're tearing yourself apart. So there's a lot of aspects here that you need to build up within yourself to be able to get out of this energy. The magician is a capable energy, and you need to remember that, because the magician is somebody who has, and especially too coming out as a king of Ariel, this is the direction that you can be going into. This is energy, that potential energy that's around you. You have strong capabilities, and you just need to believe in yourself. And that's what I would say the month of February holds for you. Believe in yourself, because you are somebody who has leadership potential. You can't be a leader until you know the journey, until you take the hits, until you see the pain, because then you'll be able to advise other people on how to, move in a direction that is purposeful. And it's okay to feel the pain, but there's also a part here where you need to move on past it. Not thrive in it, because you can't thrive in that kind of energy. You just live the same day repeatedly. So magician energy, like I said, this is strong, powerful energy. This is strong, healthy energy, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to find a way to operate from a place of power, a place of strength, a place of capability, because you have a leadership quality about you. But leaders don't become leaders without knowing the pains, without learning the process. So it's working in a balanced way here as well. When you reach that magician, again, you're manifesting something right now, and this is about finding ways to tap into those powers. It is also about again, your resources. How can I make a faster track to be confident, get the things that I want in my life, and and get out of this energetic or lack of energy place of, like, how do I find my own determination to get to my goals, is really what it is. What are my connections? How do I find my personal power? What creates strength for me? How do I find a way to believe in myself? And you can, again, it's asking the right questions. So if I don't believe in myself, then if I did believe in myself, what would my next steps be? So again, it's sometimes taking a look at some of the things that are holding you back. Well, it is looking at the things that hold you back. And a lot of things can be self-defeating for sure, but it can be anxiety. It can be emotions being overly dominant, overly, you could have a lot of high. Some people actually, there's I forget what it's called. It's an HPA axis that relates around being more sensitive to a room, more sensitive to problems, more sensitive to situations. And you might be in that place for some of you, more sensitive to the events. You walk into a room and you're able to pick out who's been going through a lot of emotional situations. Every slight of, brow, every, snide remark, every tap of the foot, every walk, in a particular way. It makes you hyper vigilant over your situation. But sometimes, a cigar is just a cigar. And yes, in that moment, maybe that person is going through a situation, but it isn't something that you need to personalize, but it is something that you need to be, it's okay to be aware of it, but again, not to overthink it, not to distort the thinking, not to make assumptions, not to see things to the extreme. Remember, what is the evidence that I have? Is it my problem that somebody hasn't been able to work through something, or that they're, dastardly or whatever? Or is it something that is beyond my control? If it's beyond your control, you don't deal with it. You deal with just the things that you can deal with. You ask yourself those questions. What evidence do I have to support this assumption that I'm making, that people don't like me, or that a situation is too difficult for me to handle, or that I don't have a skill set? It's your self-talk. What evidence do I have to support this self-talk, or this reason for me personalizing or assuming responsibility for a situation or a romantic connection that didn't go well? Or, are you making, uh, are you making, what's the word here? Are you moving yourself to a place of fortune telling, as they say, how something will go before it really has a chance? Are you looking at the possibilities or the probabilities? Again, it's, ask yourself in the moment, is this something that I can control? And what can I do to alter my perception of the situation so it moves in my favor? You're not changing the other person, but how can I make my world better in within my internal world, so that I feel happier and I can look at the situation more objectively, and I can develop a plan that sort of meets my needs and the things that I want in a realistic way. So it's, again, identifying the emotions that you're experiencing, but it's also accurately identifying those emotions. So you're not getting into a place of, thinking that you're seeing something in a particular way, but it really may not be that way. You're turning what could be a positive situation, but you're turning it into a negative situation. So again, review it objectively and treat yourself with respect. Recognize some of your own triggers or your stressors, and build on finding ways to tolerate a lot of those over stressful situations. And again, some of that comes from balanced diet and meditation and exercise and setting priorities and having a plan, and trying to reduce, if you're doing too much, reduce the activities. Spend extra time with yourself on, on major decisions. But when it's a small decision and you can move something ahead, make that small step, because when you make a small step and you plan ahead, this is allowing you to kind of decrease some of that stress. So you want to be able to develop a lifestyle where you have, where you're managing your stress based on your values, based on a routine, doing something regularly. It's also about taking the time to play and finding some humor in the day, and finding an easier way through by, developing stronger emotional support systems. Everybody can't be there in all the ways that we want them to be at all times, but you can create, you will eventually start to see the situation for what it is, by creating some traditions or going to activities with people and having some routines around, for example, if you want to exercise, taking a friend with you to exercise or go on a walk, that kind of thing. That's developing some kind of connection, so that you're not disappointed when somebody lets you down, when you just randomly say, be there for me. You've actually built up some kind of a history or some kind of form of resource, because you're putting in the time to that resource and they're putting in the time to you. So that is something to consider for this month. So again, planning around high stress periods, knowing what your triggers are. How do you de-stress? Get out of your head. The longer you stay stuck in a negative situation in your mind, it takes a lot longer to break that pattern. So again, if the shorter time that you spend in that place, and you say to yourself, what are the things that I can do that I actually have control over? How do I plan? Taking a look at your language that you use to speak to yourself. So it's not just about creating a healthier environment externally, it's also creating a healthier environment internally and staying on track. So you don't want to sabotage your own efforts by not seeing the potential in yourself. Everybody has potential, and unless you were born with a lot of, significant learning disabilities or things that might impede you, everything is learnable, everything is doable. Things are, when you overgeneralize a situation, you can make errors in how you're perceiving something. You want to break the thoughts of, what should I do or what I must do. You want to be able to depersonalize what you're trying to personalize. If somebody gives you a negative look or a lack of smile, or they walk away, that doesn't mean that they don't want to engage with you because there's something wrong with you. It could be, but it doesn't matter if it is or not, because unless that person's moving you ahead in some way, it really doesn't matter if they give you a smile or not. But it is also about, again, realizing that you can be magnificent by building on your own interests, and your own interests are the things that can move you ahead, give you self-confidence, and help you to build on a particular direction. So just remember to accurately identify your emotions that you're experiencing, your stressors, whatever that is for you, and take the time with those emotions to relax and identify any distorted thinking that might be coming up here, and in others as well. I mean, sometimes it's not just ourselves, it can be distorted thinking around others, but I think that you need to connect with people in this next bit here to be able to advance yourself. So it could be even, going to somebody who is in a king sort of position here where they are more mature and they can aid you in getting some information to be able to advance yourself, because that's all about developing yourself as this month, but most of it's breaking your own habits, breaking through, because you need to learn to breathe. You need to learn to take some time to get out of your own way, get out of your own head. Anyway, that's what I have for you, Cancer. Hopefully it gives you a little bit of advice and a little bit of guidance as to what's coming in for you for the month of February. Keep moving forward, never give up, and remember who you are.